inside the Albany Capitol Center for Gymrats Live, a grassroots girls basketball tournament here in Albany, New York. I am Andrew Santillo alongside former Siena and Syracuse star Isis Young. Isis, we've got our game here today, I90 Elite against the New York Gauchos. Both teams in the first day of this tournament had a lot of success, so this should be a good game.
Really expecting it to be fast-paced, up and down. Both teams like to press. Both teams have quick, fast, feisty guards. So I expect to see some really good matchups, especially at the point guard position.
And for the Gauchos, Jaylise Rosario is an up-and-coming star. She's kind of someone who found her footing this year as a first-team All-State player in Connecticut. She's going to be someone to watch for the Gauchos, but as you mentioned, they've got some other really good players in Raina Scott, Chardonnay Hartley, and Alina Abdullah.
I really liked Rosario yesterday. I think she just came with an extra level of effort and extra grit about her. She got every rebound that her hands touched. She snagged everything down. She also finished through contact and also got herself to the free throw line a lot. So she's a really good post presence for the Gauchos, and she's undersized. She can't be any taller than about 6 foot, but she plays about 6'4", honestly.
Yeah, you said listed at 6 feet, Jaylise Rosario. She's certainly one to watch for the Gauchos. Over on the other side with I90 Elite, a Central and Western New York based club. They went 2-0 yesterday, and they've got some players in Jade Rutledge and Kaya Good. And Morgan Jean Caterino had a good game yesterday. She was in double figure scoring. So they went 2-0. Both of these teams went 2-0. And I90 Elite is going to be looking to keep up with that success that they had yesterday as well. Even though both of these teams kind of have not short benches, but don't have a lot of players here. But all the players are going to get a lot of action here this morning in this Gymrats Live invitation-only basketball tournament.
I think I90 Elite is just really well coached. Kaya Good, the point guard, is a coach's kid. Her father coaches in the I90 organization. And they just do a good job at running the plays, being patient, and using screens. One of the few teams that I really saw that understood, okay, off a down screen, I can either pop, I can curl, or I can fade. Utilized all three and were able to get some really open shots. Interesting to see, though, how Kaya Good and the guards for I90 will handle the Gauchos' pressure. Gauchos like to press up and down for both halves and press a lot. So I'm just interested to see how they'll be able to handle that.
Tip won by I90 Elite. We'll give you the starters here in just a second as we're underway from the Albany Capitol Center. Thanks for joining us here. Gymrats Live here, the first of its kind here, invitation only tournament for these girls basketball programs, these grassroots programs that are some of the best in the Northeast, some of the best in the country. As I90 Elite, three-pointer right out of the gate after some good ball movement. Rebound from Kaya Good, who's probably the shortest player on the floor, gets the offensive rebound at 5'3". It's Good, Jade Rutledge, Kayla Carter, Morgan Jean Caterino, and Alita Carey Santangelo for I90 Elite here to start. This is Good. And now Carey Santangelo. Ball goes out of bounds. It will stay with I90 Elite. I90 Elite coached by Sean Pinkerton, the women's basketball coach at SUNY Oswego. And again, they went 2-0 in this tournament yesterday. Pull-up bank shot, no good for Jean Caterino. And here come the Gauchos as they get their first touch of this morning's contest. Driving was Scott, and she had it taken away. Here's Good. Good with a nice hesitation, and the drive and the finish for the first basket of this game. Kaya Good.
Beautiful. Gave her a nice in and out hesitation, made it seem like she was going to pull up, and then exploded by her defender with a pretty finish.
Again, only at 5'3". You mentioned her father is the boys coach at Bishop Kearney. Three-pointer good there for Sierra Pearson for the Gauchos. Starting 5 for the Gauchos out of the Bronx, New York, as a turnover here. You mentioned the pressure defense, Ice. and it'll stay with the Gauchos. Chardonnay Hartley, who's going to get the ball to inbound. There you see the I90 coach, Sean Pinkerton. Starting five for the Gauchos are Chardonnay Hartley, Raina Scott, Sierra Pearson, Christina Mathurin, and Jaylise Rosario. Your starting five for the Gauchos. Going to the free throw line here for the Gauchos is Sierra Pearson, junior from Saddle River Day School. Had 14 points in a game in Atlanta last weekend for the Gauchos. Makes both free throws. It's 4-2. Or no, excuse me. Here's good. It's 4-2 I90 Elite. Sorry about that. Ball goes out of bounds over to the Gauchos.
That's the pressure. Just speeding up I90 Elite, and they're not making good passes, making good decisions. You can tell they seem rushed in their decision making.
Shot goes out of bounds. It will go to I90 Elite. But as you mentioned, the Gauchos are going to bring that pressure defense. I90 breaks it, but then as you said, that's the pressure defense. Even though it got broke on the one end, they turn it over underneath the basket.
And something about I90's press break is they have all 5 players in the front court, right? That is a congested area. That means at least 9 players on the court are in the front court. You've got to spread it out a little bit and find some space so you can attack some gaps.
Turnover. Here comes Kayla Carter. Now going back the other way. The Gauchos, nice pull-up jumper, and it's good for Raina Scott. Scott can fill it up. Already has a lot of Division I offers. New York State All-State Class AA. Another turnover for the Gauchos. So I90 Elite's going to really have to figure out how to handle this pressure. Looking inside with Rosario. She had one dribble off her foot, lost it. Now Kayla Carter. Carter for Jean Catarino. Good with the runner. Bank in, no good. Rebound to Mathurin for the Gauchos. This is a Gauchos program out of the Bronx. They are one of the most widely recognized grassroots programs in the country, as Good gets fouled trying to finish. The Gauchos have had, you know the players, they've had them. Stephon Marbury, Kenny Anderson, Kemba Walker. On the WNBA side, Kayla Cooper, Petra Gray. Shot up and no good.
Yeah, definitely a very critical, long-lasting program that just continues to produce really high-level talent on both sides, which is really hard to find. There are not many programs left that produce high talent on the men's and women's side.
So Gauchos leading it here 6-3 early. As we're early on in this first half, Andrew Santillo and Ice Young from the Albany Capitol Center. And you mentioned it, the pressure defense from the Gauchos. I90 Elite's going to have to figure out a way to, they're going to have to figure out to break that press, because even the couple times they broke it, they've turned it over at the other end.
Well, you attack pressure with pressure. We saw this a little bit in the last game, but again, it's really more so about spacing. The Gauchos want to trap you. They want to collapse on you. So you got to be able to space them out, make good, strong passes, and also pass fake. Pass faking is something that a lot of players don't utilize, but it almost always works. When you're playing against athletic guards who are fast, who are quick, who like to jump, who get a lot of tips, as soon as you pass fake, they're going to go for the pass. As soon as you shot fake, they're going to go for the shot, and then you can start to maneuver around them and find opportunities to attack them that way. But a ball fake or a simple pass fake, once a guard is getting in that trap, is so useful.
So essentially use their aggressiveness against them.
Exactly.
Gauchos leading it 6-3. They try to trick us with the scoreboard, because as we look across, the scores are backwards of the teams. And I thought I was seeing things, but a couple of opportunities there underneath for the Gauchos, and a foul on the rebound against Mathurin for the Gauchos. 5'11" junior out of Saddle River Day School. Strong rebounder, but just a little too much on that play, and she gets called for the foul.
And Methuen really has the ability to average double-digit rebounds per game. Just tenacious rebounder, looking for the ball, strong, athletic.
This is good. We've called her name quite a few times. Shot off the mark from Kayla Carter. And now driving it. Nice block by Carter on defense. Trying to thread the needle there to Jean Caterino. The ball was kicked and it'll stay with I90.
Wow.
Nice inbounds play from Good, and a nice finish there by Carrie Santangelo.
OB execution. OBs. I have college coaches now who just say, I just wish my team could score out of bounds, rather than throw it out long and just restart a play. And that was beautiful execution there by I90.
Ball will stay with the Gauchos, who lead it 6-5. About 5 minutes into this first half of the Gymrat Live. First of its kind Gymrat Live. Ball out of bounds. The Gymrat Challenge, as it's been for many years, will be held in June for both the boys and the girls. If you found us here, the Gymrat Live Boys Tournament will be held right here next weekend. So terrific basketball action. It's great to see the kids basically getting an opportunity, especially at this level, as Hartley couldn't finish the lay-in. Some contact on the rebound, and we get a foul.
Hartley raced to the rim. You can see that extra burst of speed right there at the very end to try to get her shot off before the taller defender was coming to block it.
Christina Methuen to the free throw line for the Gauchos. We've seen her, called her name a couple times early on in this game. A free throw no good. Gauchos are coached by Earl Elliott. This is just their third tournament. Again, a lot of these teams had to kind of fire up late as, you know, things with, restrictions and playing inside and all those sorts of things have kind of started to ease a little bit if people have gotten vaccinated. And so this is the third tournament for the Gauchos, who are 6-4. They are missing 3 starters this weekend, but they're 2-0. They won 2 games yesterday. Shot no good from Carrie Santangelo. And here comes Raina Scott. Scott puts it on the floor. Dribble drive and the contact. Couldn't get it to fall. But she'll be headed to the free throw line.
She's just really great off the bounce. Mentioned it yesterday, but she's an off the bounce type player. Just good, very shifty, steady, will lull you to sleep, and then will explode out. And she elevates, One thing about her jump shot, and especially when she goes to the rim, is she jumps. Like, she uses every bit of her athleticism to get the advantage.
5'10" junior out of Nazareth High School puts the Gauchos up 9-5. Again, she's the type of player who can really fill up the score sheet, can score 40. She's a scorer. Long pass ahead, and it goes off of the hands of the I90 Elites, Kennedy Cone. As some substitutions came in for both teams. Cone into the game, number 34 for I90 Elite. Also Leanna Heitman, number 20 for I90 Elite. And this is Alina Abdelina. Gets it off for Hartley, Chardonnay Hartley. Got it back outside, now inside. Little inside-outside three-pointer, no good from Amaya Mitchell, as her and Methuen worked a little two-person game back in and out. The three-pointer was no good. 3 on the way from Good, no good. Rebound fought for, and coming out with it is I90 Elite. A 3 from Good, and she's good from the other corner, the other area of the three. Free throw line extended. Couldn't make it from the one side. Tried it from the other side and knocked it down. Gauchos lead 9-8.
2 for $1.
Got to rely on those inside players to get you the ball back and make the second shot. Ball knocked away. Here comes Good again. Her layup a little strong. Offensive rebound from Kayla Carter, no good. And here come the Gauchos. I90 Elite had a chance to go in front. Shot no good from Hartley. And a foul in the backcourt as the Gauchos trying to put that pressure defense on. A little too aggressive, and they get called for the foul.
I think Hartley was upset that she missed that pull-up jump shot in transition, so then was trying to get it back and going a little bit too aggressive and was called for the foul.
Yeah, sometimes that happens, you know, you're just trying to do too much. You know, trying to score at one end and then a little upset with yourself and you just, you know, maybe a little careless on the other end. Ola Bednarczyk into the game, number 1 for I90 Elite. Here's Good. Good with getting a lot of pressure defense. Nice pass inside, a little too high for the hands of Kayla Carter.
And Good just trying to do too much there. That's not necessarily a good angle for that kind of pass to the baseline. Need to be more patient, swing the ball around. That right there is one of my favorite players from yesterday, lefty shooter, and Sierra Pearson. Been quiet today, but that's her first triple, and she hit a number of triples yesterday, probably about 6 between the 2 games, and just a pure shooter.
Well, the coaching staff says she can handle and score with the best of them, and she did there with a nice three-pointer to put the Gauchos up by 4. Turnover on the other end gives the ball back to the Gauchos. Three-pointer from this side, off the mark. Pearson was trying to hunt down the rebound, but it goes out of bounds to I90 Elite. Ice, what's the biggest, you know, when you're getting pressured the entire game, what's the biggest thing you have to keep if you're I90 Elite mentally? How do you kind of have to keep your head in the game? Because normally you can just walk it up, but that's not what the Gauchos allow you to do.
I would just say to have a next play mentality. You know, you can't get caught up in worrying about the last turnover or last, you know, bad play that happened. You just got to, you know, next play, because this game moves so fast, right? You could turn it over and then have the ball back in 3 seconds because the other team turned it right back over.
Heitman in the corner. Good for 3. A little short. No good, and the Gauchos, Rosario, the rebound. Gauchos right down the court, and they score as it was number 12, Pearson. Gauchos just keep up with that pressure defense. Here's Ola Bednarczyk. Bednarczyk, nice pass and a good finish for Kennedy Cone. As I90 Elite breaks the pressure defense there, and it allows an easy basket on the other end.
Smart heady play by Cone, right, to let the defender fly through, kind of pump fake a little bit, and then finish with an open look at the rim.
Nice find by Bednarczyk as well. Nice defense on that end from Heitman, as I90 Elite has some taller players here trying to take advantage on the defensive end, as Heitman got a block there. Pressured is Bednarczyk in the corner, and then a turnover as Good threw it away. Up ahead, and that pass went off the back of Kayla Carter. I think they called a kick ball there, maybe.
Really?
It was really, the Gauchos threw it off of, it was kind of an errant pass,
right,
and then they just blew the whistle. I think that's what they called.
Interesting.
Good.
I would have been mad, honestly.
Good almost stole the inbounds pass, but it leads to an open 3 for Jada Mills. And the Gauchos go up by 7.
Trying to generate some easy offense from this press, and they do. Steal and foul.
Yes, and driving was Amaya Mitchell.
It's actually not a foul. That is a technical foul on the coach of I90.
They called a technical on Coach Sean Pinkerton. Pinkerton frustrated there as the Gauchos talk about frustrating the opponent. I think maybe he wanted a foul as the ball was coming up the court. There was a lot of contact on that turnover that led to the lay-in opportunity, and shooting the technical is Raina Scott.
Well, as I'm watching him right now, and the way that he's signaling, talking to the scores table, I think he was upset with the kick ball call.
Oh, okay.
When Sierra Pearson threw the ball, and it really just hit Carter in the back as she was running, trying to defend Scott in an open lane. I just don't think he really agreed with that.
Yeah, see, now they're trying to discuss, was it a technical, was the...
I think it happened simultaneously.
Yeah.
I think there was a layup with a little bit of contact, but the referee had already called a technical before.
So right now the referees are discussing it with Gauchos head coach Earl Elliott, as you're getting a good look there at Jada Mills, who's ready to inbound it, guarded by Ola Bednarzik. Again, terrific looks here from our crew. Capital Region's premier high school streaming website and Capital Sports Region Sportsnet.com is producing this Gymrat Live AAU Grassroots Basketball Tournament, and also being brought to you by Capital Region Digital LLC. Our wonderful crew here this weekend at the Albany Capitol Center. Shot up and good. A free throw for Amaya Mitchell, and the Gauchos really extending that lead, as I90 Elite has had little answers for that pressure defense. The full court pressure as the Gauchos go up by 10, 20-10, with 5.5 to go in this first half.
And this is where it can get dangerous for I90 Elite. Down 10, having trouble with pressure. Coach is forced to call a timeout, and I agree, because it's just not liking what he sees from his team, but it really seems like the main players for I90 are waiting for the trap to come, like are accepting the trap rather than looking to attack.
Yeah.
Don't get trapped, right?
Right, they're almost kind of waiting for the two to come rather than getting it down the floor ahead of the attack. And a travel is called, and it will go to I90 Elite. Gauchos up by 10. I90 Elite trying to figure out a solution to this pressure defense from the Gauchos. They do get it up here for Carrie Santangelo. Now good, a corner three from Kayla Carter off the mark. Good rebound, offensive rebound from Gian Catarino, and that leads to a putback. And a nice basket for I90 Elite.
And really Carter there, just shot a three. Didn't hit the rim, hit the backboard, short memory, got back in position, finished with a nice reverse layup. That was pretty. Gotta have a short-term memory. Just next play.
Here's a chance for I90 Elite, although they turn over. I was going to say they didn't have to deal with the pressure because they rebounded the miss from the Gauchos. Three-pointer, offensive rebound, and a nice putback for Christina Mathurin, as she had a nice offensive rebound, then good positioning, good footwork to get inside, and an easy layup to put the Gauchos up 10. Quickly down the other way, though, as I90 Elite gets a basket from Carrie Santangelo, Cicero North Syracuse product. Gauchos from the city. Turnover here. Bringing it in all alone is Gian Catarino, and she'll score it, and the lead is trimmed to 6. Gian Catarino was the only one going down the floor there, as everyone else kind of just stood back and watched as Morgan Gian Catarino got the steal and the hoop.
Yeah, it almost looked like there was a whistle.
Yeah, shot was long.
And everyone just stopped. Yeah, right.
They were all kind of like, she's going to score. A foul on the rebound. The Gauchos run a lot of different, I guess you have to with that pressure defense, keep fresh bodies in there, as they've been substituting 2 and 3 players at a time for head coach Earl Elliott. Up ahead, finding Morgan Giancaterino, and that's one way to break the press. With an easy lay-in for Morgan Giancaterino from Buffalo Academy of the Sacred Heart, all Catholic League selection, has the last 2 baskets for I90 Elite. Good defense there, and then a foul on Jade Rutledge for I90. 4-point game here, though, with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Got to be as much as 10.
Well, I90 down 10, having trouble attacking the pressure, and they were able to find some areas where they could exploit the Gauchos in terms of their press. Again, long diagonal passes, were able to get some easy shots to stay in the game, but that was not an easy shot right there.
Chardonnay Hartley. A little bit of contact, no foul, but she's able to make the jumper. Big basket for the Gauchos. They're able to set up their press, but Giancaterino breaks the press, and she's able to score to trim the lead to 4. I90 Elite seems to have something happening with Giancaterino able to be on the receiving end of this pressure break. Hartley with another big jumper. Chardonnay Hartley getting in the groove, the 5'3" guard from Bishop Laughlin. Giancaterino again cleaning up inside, and a timeout for the Gauchos. Is Ice, you talked about it, the best way to come at that pressure defense is to be aggressive, and I90 Elite has seemed to find its footing here in the second half of this first half, and it's led to Morgan Giancaterino's got about 8 points underneath, as she's been able to finish all of these times bringing the ball up.
Well, what they figured out is to attack sideline with a pass, not necessarily with a dribble. And a lot of times young players want to dribble through the press and kind of break it by themselves. But with the pass is much easier, faster, and normally more efficient. That's what we're seeing. So we saw them 3 layups in a row from Giancaterino, and it's just bing, 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 layup, right? So good passing by them, but also the Gauchos should have made an adjustment probably after the second time that she got an open layup, the same exact way, to say, hey, okay, well, we got to fix our rotation, because someone is supposed to rotate,
right,
diagonally to be there. She's not necessarily supposed to be open, guys.
So that was going to be my question. So obviously you bring the pressure defense. When the team breaks that pressure defense, what are you supposed to do to not lead to those layups? And you kind of hit the nail on the head there. But whose responsibility is to be back there? And obviously they've got to run almost the entire length of the court, which is why she's been open, because the defense hasn't been able to get back there.
Right. Well, the Gauchos are really in a 1-2-2, so to speak, and so those back 2 are in a tangent, right? If one has the sideline, the other has the middle. The other one has the other sideline, the other one comes middle. So what we're seeing is that one is going sideline, but then that middle person isn't dropping behind them to give support, and that's why Giancaterino has had open layups.
She almost had a steal there. She's come on as of late. She's got 8 points in this first half for the I90 Elite. Looking inside, couldn't handle it was Mathurin. Now kicks it out, driving with authority, but couldn't finish was Raina Scott, and now we get a jump ball underneath. And the ball will stay with the Gauchos. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Stick with us at halftime. We'll take a look at some of the leading scorers, and we've also got a feature video on the Gymrat Recruiting Index, which is something that if you're not involved in, it's surely worth your attention and time to take a look at how some of these players can either get a look at or get real college feedback from college coaches about their potential prospects of playing at the next level. Some contact, a drive, bank shot, no good for Rutledge.
Rutledge has been quiet this game. She's a Niagara commit and just hasn't done much this game, but that pass there from Raina Scott was
Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Niagara University. And she finds her way to the free throw line here. 6-foot junior. Kind of an undersized post, but she is athletic. She knocks down that free throw. Coaches said strong shoulders. I guess that's important, obviously, especially if you're undersized forward or wing. So much strength you gotta have to kind of fight with these players who may be giving up an inch or two.
She's definitely got good size for the MAC.
Gauchos by 6, final minute of this first half from the Albany Capitol Center. Turnover, good, throws it ahead for Giancaterino, who finishes. Morgan Giancaterino into double figures, and the lead is 4.
And a really nice pass there by Good. Kind of caught the outlet pass in the middle of the court where you don't really want to catch that in traffic. Was able to one dribble and quickly dish out a nice bounce pass.
Shot blocked. The drive from Pearson was swatted away. Caterino with a nice pass. Giancaterino finds Kaylin Carter, and it's a 2-point game. So I90 Elite was down 20-10, but they're on a 17-9 run here to cut the lead to 2.
And really, they've just been breaking the press and scoring in transition.
4 seconds for Scott. Scott gonna put it on the deck and finish, and that will count. So Raina Scott, I90 Elite had the better play in the second half of that first half, but Raina Scott gets the final basket to go for the Gauchos in what was an entertaining first half as the Gauchos came out, got up double digits early with their pressure defense, but I90 Elite seemed to find its footing there as the half went on, and Morgan Giancaterino she can make layups. She's got 10 points, and she's the beneficiary of a lot of breaking that pressure defense from the Gauchos.
Just in the right place, right time. You got to give credit to I90 and the coaching to come up with a press break that really was just very simple, right? Passing the ball to the sideline, having an extra cutter run opposite and be able to run up to it and get a lot of layups. But they really just had a very simple game plan in terms of getting back into this game, which was to break the pressure. I think sometimes you can see the Gauchos press as kind of fake pressure, right? Like that those top three guards are really trying to trap, really trying to get after you. But that second line of defense is not rotating correctly or even fast enough, and that's why we're seeing so many run-out layups from I90.
Some leading scorers in the first half. Morgan Giancaterino with 10, 6 points from Kaya Good for I90 Elite. 10 points for Sierra Pearson for the Gauchos, 7 for Raina Scott, and 5 for Chardonnay Hartley. Well, it's the first half. The score is the Gauchos leading it over I90 Elite. We're going to take a break, and you're going to see a video about the Gymrat Recruiting Index right here on the Gymrat Live. Back here at the Albany Capitol Center, Gymrat Live, the first of its kind, invite only. Andrew Santillo and Ice Young here. Halftime, the Gauchos lead at 31-27 over I90 Elite. I think we're going to see. I think we're going to be in for quite a second half here because the Gauchos came out, got a big lead, and then I90 Elite found its footing with dealing with that pressure defense, and then. They kind of clawed back into it, led to a lot of easy baskets at the other end, breaking that pressure. And so the Gauchos, I'm sure, are going to come out, even more enthused in the second half with that pressure defense.
It's really all about adjustments, and for the Gauchos, the adjustment has to be to fix the rotation on the back end of their press, so they're no longer giving up layup after layup after layup, which Giancaterino was the recipient of a lot of those. And then if you're I90, continue to handle the press, continue to be calm, composed, and collected, run your offense, and then really limit the Gauchos guards in terms of getting to the paint.
It'll be I90 Elite basketball out of the halftime. Leading scorers are 10 for Giancaterino, as you mentioned, Ice, and Sierra Pearson with 10 for the Gauchos. A little strong there from, I believe that was Carter. Kaya Good, she was out there a lot. She was almost the whole first half, if not the entire first half, but we called her name a lot more in the early stages. Nice feed there And finishing was Kennedy Cone, but a terrific pass there. I believe it was Rutledge finding Cone.
Yeah, nice little post-to-post action right there.
For the Gauchos, number 12, Sierra Pearson, was out there. She had 10. Raina Scott shot just off the mark. Rebound for Kennedy Cone.
Even when Raina Scott misses the mid-range, it looks like it's going in.
That
It just looks so smooth, in rhythm.
Here's Rutledge. Rutledge for Carter. This is Heitman. Lena Heitman from Christian Brothers Academy out of Syracuse gets it back for Kaya Good. Good runs the show here. She dishes it off for Rutledge. Rutledge drives into the paint, kicks it out for a three-pointer. Off the mark from Heitman. Shot put back up and in. And we got ourselves a tie game here. As that was, I believe, Good who put that one back in for I90 Elite.
Yeah, she's doing everything right now. Just rebounding, running the show offensively and running the team. And then that right there, off of the rebound, knocking down a nice little floater, which is a really great thing to have in your arsenal as a point guard, especially a point guard that's only 5'3". You got to be able to float that ball above the 6-footers. And here she is again, a little give and go action.
Nice finish from Kaya Good, and I90 Elite has a 2-point lead. Remember, the Gauchos were up 20-10, so it's been a 23-11 run here for I90 Elite. The Gauchos have a little too much one and done here. I90 Elite maybe has the advantage inside, but the Gauchos have gotten good looks, but when they haven't made their shots, it's been one shot and done. I90 Elite getting a lot of the rebounds here. And just as I say that, Rosario does it for the Gauchos. Gets the rebound and the putback for Jaylise Rosario, an up-and-coming star. First team All-State out of Connecticut. I believe that was her first basket of this game. Initiating the contact, and we're going to get an offensive foul on Raina Scott. And she kind of put her head down and initiated the contact.
Just barreled over. Over good.
That's one of those where even if the defensive player isn't set, you know, kind of a player control foul almost, as they're going to call that on the offensive player. Once you kind of, you dip low and throw your shoulder.
And I think for Scott, too, and I saw this a little bit from her yesterday, you know, having a preconceived move, right? Like, I'm just going to go left, and I'm going to go left. No. Right? You got to take what the defense gives you.
Ball almost went out of bounds, saved in there, and now a steal from Scott, and she's fouled. Also, Scott, as you mentioned, her shot has looked good, but it hasn't fallen, so she's trying to get to the basket there, which may have led to that offensive foul.
Yeah, and as a shooter, I mean, she's shooting good shots and she's shooting mid-range jump shots, so we know she's capable of making them at a high clip. You just got to hold your foul a little bit more and concentrate.
Pearson's three is short, and it'll go out to I90 Elite. Again, one and done here for the Gauchos as we're tied 33-33. First 2 minutes of this, or first 3 minutes of this second half, 16-minute halves. This grassroots girls premier tournament from Albany, New York, the Albany Capitol Center. We're glad you could join us this morning. Nice take from Leanna Heitman.
And she showed her height with that, the extension. She got really long arms, and so once she drove, she was able to really extend her arm over the defender to get that finish. That was beautiful. 6'1".
Her coaches said she can finish in traffic. Well, that was certainly doing so there. Rosario tried to respond with a lane in traffic at the other end, but that didn't fall. So I90 Elite with the basketball and a 2-point lead. Rutledge putting it on the deck, and she gets to the foul line as she's fouled.
And Rutledge, another player that's really good and strong off the bounce. You can hear her dribbles. Normally, I try to pay attention to that a lot with players because you can tell how fast they're going by how hard they pound the basketball, and you can hear her dribbles. She pounds the ball so hard, but she's able to go, be explosive and fast and strong off dribble because of that.
First free throw off the mark, but Rutledge just trying to get the offensive game going. As we said, a Niagara U commit makes the second free throw, puts I90 Elite up 3. See if she can get that offense going here in the second half. Scott went off the screen, and they're going to call an illegal screen on Mathurin. So the ball will go over to I90 Elite. Again, both of these programs won 2 games yesterday. So you know this is among the best of the best in this tournament, but to go 2-0 on the first day shows that these are 2 of the better teams even at this tournament, which is comprised of a lot of select and invite-only teams from the Northeast. Good play defensively by Cone to knock it away. And here's Good. Kaya Good.
Well, for a tournament that doesn't have a championship, this kind of is one of those semifinal, maybe championship-like games
And Rutledge
in the division.
takes it, the dribble, and lays it in. So Jade Rutledge puts I90 Elite up by 5, and this is the biggest hole the Gauchos have been in this entire game. Scott comes off a screen, puts it on the deck, and gets to the foul line.
And I was just going to say, they're not really getting easy shots, right? They had a layup about a minute ago from Rosario off of an almost air ball shot. But otherwise, they're not really getting easy shots, and they got to get to the paint. And Scott did a good job there of not relying on her pull-up jumper, which we know she can get off, but rather getting a high percentage shot, getting rewarded at the foul line.
And Scott makes the first free throw. And when they're not making baskets, it's tougher to set up that pressure defense, which they can after Raina Scott makes 2 free throws, although they kind of float back and pick up half court here. I90 Elite up 38-35. Cone kind of got into no man's land there and turns it over. Here's Amaya Mitchell. Mitchell for Raina Scott. Scott puts it on the deck. Tried to step through the defense, drew some contact. Mitchell's shot, no good. Players on the floor. And the ball went over and back. That just tells you how long that rebound came all the way back out to center court as bodies were on the court going after that important loose ball.
We love to see players dive on the floor and kind of lay it all on the line for their team.
Kayla Carter inbounding it right in front of us here. Good. Got it off for Carrie Santangelo. Gian Caterino. Good. Carrie Santangelo drives. And score the basket and the foul for Alita Carrie Santangelo. And she'll get to the free throw line for the chance for 3.
Now,
Nice ball movement there, too. Yeah.
It was. I was going to say that. She's a really smart player is what I was going to say, because off of the ball movement and the reversal, she decided to attack at the right moment and really had a nice, smooth finish in the paint. She's sneaky athletic. Like, when she elevates on her jump shot or even that floater right there, she's got some hops.
Gauchos looking inside with Mathurin. Wild shot, and the ball will go out of bounds to I90 Elite. I90 Elite leads by 6. Under 10 minutes to go in this game. Gauchos had a 10-point lead in the first half. Now they trail by 6.
Well, it's defense. They're just not getting stops like they were in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Driving and scoring is Ola Bednarczyk. Good left hand. She took it to the basket and scored, and I90's up 8. Errant throw there. You kind of said it, is the Gauchos were really catapulted by their defense. And once the defense kind of, wasn't creating turnovers, I90 Elite has settled in and been able to pick up its scoring. Bednarczyk goes left and finishes with the right hand, a little teardrop runner bank shot, and it puts I90 Elite up 10.
2 back-to-back just really good straight line drives from her, and I think the Gauchos are trying to pick up their defense man-to-man and press up, and she's just gone right by her defender.
Drive from Jada Mills is short. Putback is good. And that was a much-needed basket from this Gauchos team. As they needed a basket, they went down by 10. Now down by only 8. Carrie Santangelo to the top for Bednarczyk. Bednarczyk lets it fly. Short offensive rebound, Kaya Good, and she makes the basket. So at 5'3", Kaya Good grabs the offensive rebound and a nice little jump shot to put I90 Elite back up by 10.
Yeah, she would definitely be my vote for player of the game as of now. She's, again, just been a little bit of everything. Scoring, defense, facilitating, running the show. Been responsible for breaking that pressure up at the top against the Gauchos press.
Yeah, at 5'3", she does a little bit of everything. Good handle, runs the team. They said, her coaches said, best asset is actually her IQ and her intelligence about the game.
Well, again, we mentioned she's a coach's kid, and I think her father would be proud to hear that.
Rosario at the free throw line. Jaylise Rosario, an up-and-coming star. She was called the breakout star of her high school conference in Connecticut. First team All-State, averaged 17 and 12. 6-foot sophomore. Is at the free throw line for the Gauchos. Here's Kaya Good. This is Bednarczyk. Bednarczyk for Carter. Carter drives, dishes it back for Bednarczyk. Her shot a little short. She follows her own shot and scores. So couldn't make the jumper, stepped in a little closer and made the jumper from just a few feet closer. If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Yep.
The drive and score at the other end for Chardonnay Hartley. I90 Elite still up by 10. They were down by 10 in this first half. Here's Carrie Santangelo. Puts it on the deck. Backing down her defender. A little turnaround shot. Looked like it was going to go and came out. Rebound again from Good. She's had at least 3 offensive rebounds. Got it out for Jean Caterino. Finds Good after it was fumbled. Now Bednarczyk. Bednarczyk with the finish and the foul. Ola Bednarczyk.
She's gone on our own little personal run here in the fourth quarter, so to speak,
Yeah.
and just has showed a little bit of everything. I mean, we've seen mid-range jump shots, 2 floaters, and then that finish right there.
Through contact.
Through contact.
Plays at Charles W. Baker High School. All-State honorable mention. Good free throw shooter, but coaches said good left hand. She's been able to get to the basket and finish in the second half.
And she's also got good size. Really
At
good
6
size.
feet,
Yeah, if she can be a perimeter player, like a 3 or stretch 4, she's got good size.
She just got the rebound
Yeah,
there.
and
Boxing
cleared it out. Yeah, I saw that box out. Sure did.
Here's Kaya Good. I90 Elite up by 12. Again, both of these teams had tremendous performances yesterday and going 2-0. Three-pointer off the mark from Carter, rebounded with Pearson. Pearson had a big first half. She's going to push it, and she'll get to the foul line. She had 10 points in the first half. Haven't called her name as much here in the second half, but she puts it on the deck and gets to the free throw line.
She's been quiet, and perhaps one of the reasons why the Gauchos started to struggle to score offensively is because she wasn't really involved as much.
Yeah, 10 points for Pearson, who had a whale of a first half, but she hasn't scored here, missed those 2 free throws, hasn't scored here in the second half, so still stuck on 10 with 6 minutes to go.
I'm probably a little frustrated because of that, right?
Got off to a tremendous start. Looking inside for Jean Caterino, but good Gauchos defense intercepts. The drive, some transition, and a basket for Jada Mills. And let's see if the Gauchos, I thought they might pick up full court, but they haven't really done that much here in the second half.
Well, one, it could be fatigue. Remember, this is game 3 and only, 48 hours.
Yeah.
But also, they were getting beat on the press. The press was the reason why I-90 was able to get back into this game. So I would call up the press if I was them too. I also know the Gauchos do have a signature 3-2 matchup zone that they run. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of that here in the second half versus man.
Good in the corner, thought about a 3, now pulls it up to the top of the key, guarded by Raina Scott. Giving up a few inches here. Good at 5'3", Scott is listed at 5'10". Inside, nice move, got a little too far underneath, as Carrie Sanangelo couldn't finish. At the other end, Abdulina couldn't finish. Now we go the other way. Missing is Carrie Sanangelo, but there to clean it up is Gian Caterino. And she puts I-90 back up by 12. I tell you, Gian Caterino has had probably, when you look at if you looked at the box score, it would be, she's got to be at least 6 for 6 probably from the field and all right around that basket. Those are high percentage looks for Gian Caterino. Nice move by Scott to get the basket, and we'll get a timeout here from the Gauchos.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good timeout called by Coach Earl, and it's really one to kind of set up his team for the next 4 minutes. You know, they might turn up the heat again, turn up the pressure a little bit more, try to force some turnovers, and then really get quick and easy baskets at the other end of the floor.
So final 4 minutes to go here. The Gauchos, as we said, had a 10-point lead in this first half, led by their high-pressure full-court defense. As you get a look at the I-90 Elite crew, and you see the 2 other courts going on here at the same time. Again, this is the first Gymrat Live of its kind, and this was a select invite-only tournament for these teams. Some of the best programs in the Northeast sending their teams here to Albany, New York for this weekend tournament. And again, a lot of exposure for these players and these programs. This is exactly kind of what you want, especially when you had a high school season that was maybe condensed, and then last year, pretty much every high school didn't play. So these players are getting some much needed exposure this summer. Final, go ahead.
I was going to say, just about exposure too, is a lot of times, college coaches are coming to watch the main culprits, right? The ones that we know are probably destined for a Power 5 school. And then they come across other players that are sneaky good, that maybe just haven't gotten the same exposure, which is why, this broadcast is so important, because it shows everyone. And these games are archived, so any college coaches, parents, or players can go back and watch the film.
Yeah. And again, this is a tournament that kind of was born out of the COVID crisis, as driving was Jade Rutledge, and she will get to the foul line here. Kind of the Gymrat Challenge will take place in June for both the boys and the girls, but this Gymrat Live was able to give exposure to the elite of the elite grassroots programs and give them another opportunity to be seen, as you said. There's and whether it be injuries or other opportunities, players are getting another chance to show what they're made of from college coaches.
And this is a big production. I mean, this is, we've got 2 courts that are live streamed all day. We've obviously got broadcasters on the call, multiple cameras, so there was some significant money and time spent planning this event to make it happen. It's really quite impressive. I honestly wish something like this existed while I was playing.
Ball will go to the Gauchos. What you mentioned is so important too. That the players, the coaches can watch these games again. If you're watching these, you can archive these or download these games or take snippets, as the three-pointer was long from Scott. And not only for college coaches, you can see, the players could look at this and say, oh, okay. Because sometimes it's so hard to kind of self-analyze what you're doing out there on the floor. I thought I was doing this, but it turns out that I was over here, or I was floating, or I wasn't screening or that sort of thing. So this provides such a tremendous opportunity for that. A steal and a finish for the Gauchos with Chardonnay Hartley.
Well, the Gauchos, again, trying to cut this lead down. They've got it to 10 right now, but they're going to need some score stops in a row to be able to cut this thing down to below 5. And typically, you want to at least be within 6 with 2 minutes left.
See what they can do here. Is I90 Elite maybe going to be a little bit more deliberate as they try to get a good look, but also dribble some time off the court, and a foul called on Scott, who was playing some tight defense on Jade Rutledge.
It's not necessarily the worst foul. It's ticky-tack, right? But when you're getting down to the wire, do they have team fouls? So if they need to go into 1-and-1 at a certain point, is it going to take 7 or 8 fouls to get there?
And
you really don't mind that foul right now.
And no shot clock, so it's not like the shot clock resets. So you almost want to be a little bit more aggressive to try to create a turnover. Bednarczyk picked up her dribble way away from the basket. Here's Good.
This is where I90 can just be patient, right? Run the offense, make the Gauchos play defense for longer than they want to play defense. Don't turn the ball over and get a decent shot. They're in a hurry, not you.
And the last of 3 games, as you said, Gauchos kind of got to dig deep here with everything you have left to kind of play defense because you're down by 10 with 2 minutes to go. As getting to the line here is Gene Caterino. Points for Jean Caterino. She had 10 points in that first half. Really sparked the I90 offense, as she now has 13.
She's just been really solid. Right place, right time, played her role and made layups.
Gauchos pull it back out. They got to get something going here. Here's Hartley with a drive and a floater off the bank. No good. Rebound Carter. Carter brings it out to Kaya Good. Good being hounded as she comes up the floor, but she gets it up and over for Bednarczyk. Bednarczyk will dribble it back out. Raina Scott really getting right up on her and makes the steal. Raina Scott tried to draw a little contact too as she went in for the layup. And now a timeout from the Gauchos with 1:32 to go. And I90 Elite leading by 9.
And that's where Scott just shows that next level, right? To know that you need a stop, you need a score, to press up on a guard that's a bigger guard, not necessarily low to the ground, does not have the best handles, and it really made the mistake of going behind the back. It's so funny because I couldn't let that happen.
Well, they knew you were a point guard.
I just called and shot it, honestly.
So the Gauchos get the ball back, down by 10 with 1:06 to go. Hartley dribbling back and forth. Her shot was off the mark. Rebound Carrie Sanangelo, and then Good is fouled. Under a minute to go. And again, both of these teams were 2-0 yesterday. So as Ice, as you mentioned, this in a round robin play is almost, kind of a de facto, either semifinal or championship if you come out undefeated. At I90 Elite looking pretty good at this point, up 10 with 53 seconds to go.
Up note for the Gauchos is just the lack in a pure shooter, right? They don't have a pure shooter who they can go to knock down some of these shots. We saw in the last game that we mentioned Manley and Ogilvy, right, of the showstoppers.
Yeah.
And, we're kind of just shooters that were knocking down threes. The Gauchos really don't have that. I think Sierra Pearson is the only true three-point threat, and she missed her last 2 or 3.
The Gauchos got up early, 20-10. They led 31-27 at halftime, but I90 Elite came out in the second half and took the lead and is now up by 10. Folks, you are watching Gymrat Live, presented by the Gymrat Recruiting Index. Real reaction, from real college coaches in real time. It's produced by CapitalRegionSportsNet.com, the Capital Region's premier high school sports streaming website. and also being brought to you by Capital Region Digital LLC. The Gymrat Live, first ever of its kind, invite-only tournament for these premier grassroots select teams and programs. I90 Elite up by 11. The I90 Elite team based out of kind of central and western New York. 2 free throws. They're up by 12. The Gauchos located out of the Bronx. Hartley with the drive. No good. Follows her own shot. Almost got the rebound. The ball goes out of bounds, and it will be to I90 Elite. And a foul with 23 seconds left as they're going to send Gian Caterino to the line.
Getting their money's worth.
Well, again, both of these teams were successful yesterday, so it's never over till it's over, although it's almost over with 23 seconds left. Free throw missed, comes out to Amaya Mitchell. Three-pointer up from Hartley. No good. Rosario underneath trying to grab at it. But it comes to Carrie Santangelo, and she's going to dribble this one out. So final score, I90 Elite 60, and the New York Gauchos 48 in what was an exciting game and kind of the tale of two halves almost, as the Gauchos got up by 10 in that first half, and then I90 Elite had a strong second half to take the victory. Andrew Santillo and Ice Young here at the Albany Capitol Center. Your thoughts about that game? I90 Elite played a tremendous second half.
I think they actually played a complete game. You know, even though the Gauchos came out energetic, pressing, forcing turnovers, getting easy buckets, and taking that early 20-10 lead, after that, the game shifted, and momentum completely was in favor of I90 Elite. They just did a great job in breaking the press, getting easy shots, easy layups, easy points, quick points in transition, and then defensively really held the Gauchos. The Gauchos struggled to score from outside. They struggled to get to the rack and get easy shots, and it was just tough for them to score late in stretches in the game, and that's really why I90 was so in control, even when they were down.
For I90 Elite, 13 points from Morgan Jean Caterino, 12 from Kaya Good, and 9 from Alita Carey Santangelo. From the Gauchos, Raina Scott had 14 and Sierra Pearson had 10, but all 10 of those points came in the first half. So what really was the tale of two halves, I90 Elite picks up its third victory from this Gymrat Live tournament this weekend here in Albany. Well, that'll do it. Our final score is 60-48. I90 Elite picks up the victory. Thanks for joining us here for Ice Young. I'm Angie Santillo and our entire crew here at the Albany Capitol Center. So long. Thank you for watching.